sacrifices to buy gold and silver. Hey, what's up, everybody? So, there was a comment in the comment section of one of my videos, and somebody asked, can you make a video on sacrifices that you had to make in order to be able to buy all the gold and silver that you purchase? So that's what this video is going to be about, is sacrifices made. Now, sacrifice might be the wrong word. There's a lot of people that really make sacrifices every day as far as police, military, and stuff like that. People who are on the front lines and give their lives. So sacrifice may not be the correct word, but the correct word would probably be more like spending your money more wisely than actually sacrifice. But you could use the word sacrifice if you choose. But there's a lot of things that I have chose over the course of the last 3 or 4 years to give up and to not spend my money on stuff that I would, a few years ago, I would have not even blinked an eye at spending money on. And one of those things are sports autographs. Before I got into saving with gold and silver, and I do look at it as a form of savings, I think we should be saving not just in precious metals, but also in cash, in fiat cash as well, because it's just easier to, if you get into a bind, it's easier to tap into that cash savings than it is to tap into your precious metals savings. But I do look at precious metals, gold and silver, as a type of savings. So I used to spend a lot of money standing in lines to meet up with a sports icon, if you will, and to have them sign a baseball, sign a photograph or something like that. So that's something that I would have done, say, 4 or 5 years ago. Some other things that I choose not to spend my money on is eating out as often. Sometimes we still have to eat, do the social gathering, maybe not as much right now with everything that is going on, but we still need to be a little social, still have to eat out every now and then. But making meals in your home is a great way of saving money and not blowing it on tips, not blowing it at the drive-through of McDonald's or whatever your fast food, choice is, fast food of choice, and not eating out as often. And that's something that I used to do constantly, is, go out on a lunch break at work, go out to the restaurant of my choice and get a carry out every single day for lunch. And that is just a great way to blow money. Pack your lunch, make your lunch the day before, and bring it to work. Another thing that I choose not to purchase anymore as often is the latest and greatest technology, such as your iPhone, or if you have an iPhone, or if you have an Android. I have Apple, I have an iPhone, and this iPhone is going to last me until this iPhone is basically toast, until it's dead. So my iPhone that I have is a iPhone 7 Plus. I bought this in 2016, and it is still working like a champ. There's no reason to replace the iPhones unless, or your smartphone, unless it no longer is functionable, no longer works. No sense on going and upgrading to the newest model. A lot of the, stuff that they put out there as far as, upgrades to the next model for, the better camera and the better whatever, a lot of it is marketing. A lot of it is not going to work that much better than what you currently have, unless you are 20 years behind. Then it might be a little bit of a different story. But from one model to the next model to maybe three models from where you're currently at is not going to be that much of a difference to where you're going to notice that much of a difference. Other things that sometimes we buy that we really don't even want, it's just, a want versus a need, or something that after you buy it, you realize I didn't even want this in the first place. So, for example, my daughter the other day, she's one of those teenagers who has a job and can buy whatever it is she wants. And sometimes you have to make not the smartest decisions in order to learn and to make smarter decisions down the road. She gets into all these iWatches and, the newest model of the iPhones. And she bought a new iWatch and came to me and said, "Do you want my old iWatch?" And at first I'm like, maybe I do. And then after I thought about it for about 3.5 seconds, then I said, no, how about you put it on eBay or sell it on, some other way and get some of your money back for the new iWatch you bought instead of me buying it, because I really do not need it and really do not want it. But it's something that I thought about for a couple of seconds. Would that be cool to have a little iWatch on your wrist? And then I said, no, it won't. I would rather save that, $100 or $200 that it would have cost me to buy her older iWatch than it would have. I would rather spend $100 or a couple $100 on a 1/10 ounce American Gold Eagle or a 1/10 ounce Canadian Maple Leaf, gold Canadian Maple Leaf, or maybe a few American Silver Eagles than buying a iWatch. Some other things that I did in the past that I no longer do is buy sports cards. I was really big, say 10 years ago, 10 years ago to 20, 25 years ago, really big into buying sports cards. Just to think about the money that I blew on sports cards, I could probably have so much money right now if I wouldn't have blew money that I blew 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 years ago and saved everything up. If I would have been buying gold and silver for the last 25 years, I could have accumulated so much more wealth than I do now. So those are some things that we can do, that we can look at as bad spending habits. And I've said before, I always carry around my trusty pocket coin, my 2014 American Silver Eagle. It is all beat up, and I've been carrying this around with me not since 2014, but about since 2016. So for about 4 years, I've been carrying this American Silver Eagle around with me, and this goes everywhere I go. Typically, sometimes I forget it, but typically this goes around with me everywhere I go. And when I go into a store or somewhere, and every time I pull out the wallet or pull out the credit card or pull out cash to buy something, I always put my hand on this first. And this reminds me to think twice. You may not need what you're about to spend your money on, because you can buy another one of these, or you can buy maybe one of those, or maybe a couple of these, depending on how much the purchase is about to be. So that's what I do to save money, because I make a very modest living. I'm not wealthy. I don't own my own business. I'm not rich, so I have to think twice before I make purchases to be able to save money. I don't view buying gold and silver always as a purchase. Sometimes we have to look at it as a purchase because we are about to spend money that we're not going to be able to. If we need to get money right away, we're not going to be able to get it right away out of this. You have to walk into a local coin shop. You have to sell it on eBay. You have to sell it to somebody for cash, for fiat, in order to be able to, if you have an emergency, or you have to make a repair to your house or to your car or something, we can't normally use this as money. So we have to trade this in for cash in order to be able to buy the things that we're going to need to buy. So even though I do look at this as money, it's sort of money, and it's sort of not money that you can spend at any given moment. So those are some of the things that I do to be able to afford the gold and the silver, and to be able to put that savings into gold and silver. The one good thing about saving in gold and silver versus saving in cash, now don't get me wrong, we need to have a cash savings first while trying to accumulate a lot of these precious metals, because a cash savings a lot of times is going to save you, where gold and silver in any given moment may not save you right away. The cash savings will save you. This will save you in different ways as far as inflation and stuff like that, but we need to have that cash savings also. So for anybody who's first getting into precious metals, my advice would be to have a cash savings first, maybe a month, maybe 2 months, maybe 3 months worth of paying bills and living expenses before getting into even buying precious metals, and then accumulating a little bit at a time, and really doing a lot of research as to what, if you have to sell, what you would be able to sell pretty quickly, like at a local coin shop, and be able to get the majority, if not all, of your premiums back. So that is my answers for how I, either, if you want to use the word sacrifice or save for gold and silver, it is looking at what you spend, and spend wisely, spend smartly, and not buying things that you may not necessarily need, them materialistic items that you really don't need, or electronics that you don't need, or eating out, which you really don't need. And so that's my answers. Please let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Appreciate everybody for listening. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll talk to everybody on my next video. Thanks a lot, everyone.